Welcome back. It's still News Hub. In his New Year message to the nation, President Muhammadu Buhari restated his commitment to free and fair elections this year and also made it clear that he is not desperate for re-election, as according to him, the election is not do or die. And he also mentioned so many things that has to do with how committed he's going to be concerning the election, and that his government has done so much and they are going to consolidate on some of the things they have said.
Well, in the message, you know, the president said that 2019 will be an election year for us in about 2 months. Well, actually less than 2 months, because we see it's February 16 and we're in January 2. And we all will elect leaders into various offices at national and state levels. Now, he also says that as he welcomes us into 2019, he also reiterating his many promises and declarations that the general election will be free, fair, and credible. He's always been saying this from time immemorial. Now, elections, according to him, need not to be a do-or-die affair, and we should not approach that eventuality in a democracy with trepidation and mortal fear. Happily, a large number of presidential candidates have committed to peace, and peace we shall have. And that is what the president said.
And joining us to throw more light on this topic, we have Lucky Ighoyota, who is the Public Relations Officer, Take It Back movement, and also Moyele Sowore presidential campaign. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you.
And from later on in the show, we'll be joined by Victor Giwa, who is a legal practitioner in our Abuja studio. Let's get started. Now, election is coming, and you listen to the president. On Christmas Day, immediately released the comment, some opposition just went for his jugular. This time around, PDP has also made a statement to say that his speech was a sign that he has already conceded defeat. I don't know, I wish I can tell you not to go partisan, to just look at the import of that statement. But what do you think? Okay,
I'll try not to be partisan, as you have just said. But you know, this the politics business, and there's no way I'll be talking about President Muhammadu Buhari without doing some bit of
so let's leave the messenger and look at the message.
Okay, yeah. Now, talking about elections should not be do or die affairs. President Buhari's speech around that reminds me of a particular law in my elementary days doing geology, in class 1 precisely, when we were taught laws of stratigraphy. There's this particular law we call law of uniformitarianism. It's a law that's based on the principle of uniformity. The president, if you recall, in 2015, when he was to be sworn in at Eagle Square, he said, I belong to nobody, and I
am for everybody.
I'm for everybody. He has said the elections should not be a do or die affair. From the uniformitarianism I just cited just now, it means the present is the key to the past. Our present today is a reflection of our ugly past, right? Is that correct?
I won't fall into your logic.
Is that correct? Is that correct?
No, we asked the questions, you answered.
Okay. No, I'm just going to give you a timeline of events leading to where we are now. Where we've gotten to a point whereby elections are no longer issue-based. Instead, people are beginning to have this apprehension. You talked about trepidation and the rest, apprehension, fears of us having a very fearful and violent elections. Now, this morning in the papers, you hear comments from the NBA tackling the presidents on the rule of law. You see on Guardian, you saw a particular headline there attributing the fears that elections may be marred by insecurity. What has led to this insecurity is because of what we have found in our systems. And the fears for the election, as he rightly said, are issues bordering on malgovernance, issues bordering on PDP, APC trying to continue with a merry-go-round kind of politics. That's why you saw the greed and the desperation around them. We, for the Take It Back movement, we are not desperate. We are all about recollecting our country back. So the fears of being espoused by the president to be the elections going to be do or die thing, we are not in tune with that, because we believe Nigerians will definitely organize themselves for the election, except that the president in his own is failing to do the needful. If he does the needful, there's no way the election should be violent reading election.
All right, let me take my question even back to, the point where candidates or politicians want to vie for a position. Now, we know that the cost of running is quite expensive, it's quite exorbitant.
Yeah.
We're talking about the nomination forms, and we're talking about the campaign spending as well. And we know from the past that the bad politicians, after spending all that money, when they get into office, they want to take it back. Now, for the president to say it's not a do or die affair, do you think every other politician understands that it's not really a do or die affair, regardless of how much they spent to get the nomination forms or how much they will spend during the campaigns?
When you talk to some of these established political class, you know what they call politics? They say politics is a business. They call it their business. They see it as an investment, like an enterprise, where they hope to get a return on investments after their activities before, during, and after the elections. So talking about the huge financial and capital involvement in pursuing or prosecuting your political career in Nigeria is really, really expensive, I must tell you. Like we in the Take It Back movement, when we started in February, we started with virtually nothing. Our funding is basically coming from Nigerians, the very poor Nigerians. Like I for one, I doesn't know Shore from Adams. We met for the very first time in June this year.
Last year you met?
June last year. June last year, 2018. Barely just 6 months ago, right? And soon after he met me, he doesn't need to know my financial state. You understand? He doesn't need to be sure that I'm a bourgeois, or I'm an oil-rich mogul, or I'm a Dangote-like, or an $10 kind of a personality. For us in the Take It Back, we are not pushing money politics. Why all of these aspiration of fears around the 2019 elections? Because of these guys' investment into this politics they call business. So is enormous.
The question was, now with all these investments the politicians have put into this electioneering or politics, so to speak, do you think that is why they would not even consider the president's word saying that it's not a do or die affair? Do you think they'll still go ahead and make it a do or die affair for them?
For sure. They will definitely not renege in their antics of being desperate to grab power by all means. Like in my locality, the Governor Kowa, I've started recruiting from polling unit to polling unit, political aides. Where on earth can you form a government giving every Tom, Dick, and Harry an SSA? When we were young, growing, for you to become an SSA to the governor, senior special assistant to the governor, you must have a very intimidating CV. You must be a man that have at least contributed immensely, privately or publicly, to the growth and development of your system before you give an appointment. But today you see boys all over the places, thugs in beer parlors that cannot even fill a form in the bank, be given an appointment. All of that is because of the do or die politics we're talking about here.
Let me put it in perspective. What the president said, like she alluded to, elections need not be do or die affair, and we should not approach that eventually. We should not approach that eventuality in a democracy with trepidation and mortal fear. Happily, a large number of presidential candidates have committed to peace, and peace we shall have.
Yeah.
Now, that sounds very strong.
Yeah.
Let me start by saying, was Showore part of the peace pact?
We weren't invited, and as you know, we are. Showore.
But you're for peace?
We're for peace. As you know, Showore is running a non-violent revolutionary campaign. Ours is a revolution, but with a non-violent approach. Should we have going to reiterate that we are hoping for peace? We are running the election peace, we are running our campaigns peacefully. As you see, Showore is the only candidate that have gone around the 36 states. He introduced the town hall system into our body politics. You know that. Right from February when he kickstarted the movement, leading to August when we finally got our party. The AAC
we're looking
registered.
at the import of these candidates beyond your party now.
Yeah.
How they can, promote peace. Because if the #1 man is saying that peace we shall have, people say it speaks volume. But there are some die-hard followers. But people believe that if these gladiators tell them that we are for peace, don't you think candidates need to do more on preaching peace?
I think the president may be somewhat sincere. He may be, mark my words. But his handlers, my fears are his handlers, the desperation around this toga of, elements around him is what is giving room for this apprehension out there, this smoke of violence looming. For us, we are everly committed to peace. A few of them have signed the peace pact driven by Reverend Father Martin Puka. Showore wasn't around in the country, and I'm not sure they invited us. If they send us an invite anytime, Showore is willing and ready to go and sign that peace pact. Because we are committed to it. Because we don't believe in a violence approach. If we had wanted a violence revolution, we would have told that part. But we're going to revolutionize Nigerian politics through the ballot. And believe you me, by February 16, 2019, this year, the president and the PDP will get a shocker of their life.
All right. But until then, we've not heard your candidates, your party's candidates speak as to comment on the president's speech for the New Year Day. But the PDP presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, while reacting to his message, to the president's message, said that the president should go beyond lip service and control the activities of overzealous aides, including the country's security chiefs. Now the question is, do you think that these security chiefs, especially the IGP, are being partisan in some ways? Do you think that they are on the side of the ruling party?
That is even, is even visible to the blind. The IG of police, Idris Abubakar, is highly partisan. You can see what he has been doing the last few months. His tenure will be expiring in January 15. It will be clocking 60, and naturally, by our laws, is supposed to be retiring from the police, but it appears that they are not willing to let him go.
But you are aware the president also has the power to extend it?
He may want to, but on moral grounds.
On moral ground, not on legal ground.
On moral ground, we are putting it to him that he should not extend it. He should do the needful by allowing him go and allow other officers that are supposed to enjoy the promotional benefits to also move up the bar. You get that? Now, talking about the security chiefs also, the other guys in the military, they have also been extended, from last year till now, not up until now, not until after the elections, they are not likely to leave. Those things throws us passion. Atiku is not credible enough to condemn President Buhari's misbehavior.
How do you mean?
Because the PDP had an opportunity to reorganize and reshape things for this country. Atiku and his boss, former President Obasanjo, they held sway for 8 years, and they do nothing to reorganize this nation. I heard his boss saying the other day that we should not reinforce failure, that Buhari is a failure. For us in the Take It Back, we believe that we should not reinstate failure, because the PDP and its candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, they are failures. We can never reinstate them. Nigeria cannot go back to those ugly pasts. We should be thinking of how to move our country to a digital world.
Are you saying that Showore is a better option for Nigerians?
Definitely. Why do you think they're sidelining him?
Do you think he has a stake in the process? Do you think he's...
If not that we live in a country that is highly uncharitable, Showore's contribution to the development of this politics, all of them are enjoying today, is enormous to make Showore an idol. Showore started putting pressure on the Nigerian system since 1989, after the Nadeko saga, Showore left the country for America. He still had the interest of Nigerians in his heart. The American government have offered him a series of time to become citizen of America, but he has bluntly refused. He doesn't want to be a citizen. Most of them, as you know today, there is an allegation that most of them have dual citizenship, like the Senate president, for instance. It was rumored at some point that he is a citizen of the UK.
You call it an allegation?
Yeah. That's why I said allegation.
Because it hasn't gone to court.
No, Showore,
when challenge it in court.
When Showore was leading the pack to fight for this democracy, all of them are calling themselves politicians today. Most of them had a backseat. Most of them doesn't.
Let me bring you back. Let me bring your mind back to this. Now, we talked about, he asked you a question concerning the peace pact that was signed by some political parties.
Yeah.
And you said your party didn't sign a political party. But from
because we are not invited.
Yeah, from the first of all, the peace committee led by the former
military general.
Yeah, he said every political party, even Father Kuka, was quoted to have said that every political party was invited. But the president stated or restated that that he is committed to peace, even after signing the peace pact with other political parties. Now your party didn't sign. Would it be right for Nigerians to think that if anything goes wrong, your party or parties like you that didn't sign this peace pact might be the ones behind the violence that might be recorded during the elections?
Booker, a few while ago on this same seat, I told you that we are hoping for their invite. If we get their invite this minute...
Why don't you go to their office
Lucky,
since their arms are open?
They've even stated it clearly that the process continues. So probably you just need to place a call to your
if it's a going concern,
so that I can go there and sign.
If it's a going concern, we have our secretariat in Abuja. If they are looking for our address, they should go to HINEC. We have a party secretary. The AAC have a secretary. I'm
saying for the purpose of Nigerians, you know, there is this apprehension.
Okay, it's not.
Let me remind you that in 2011 we have close to 1,000 victims due to post-election violence.
Yes, especially in the northern part of the country.
Yes, and you remember how the court members were killed.
Yeah.
And in 2015, just because of an action of someone who lost the election, and he said no, this should not lead to violence. So that's the essence of appealing to these gladiators. And if the number one man is saying that it is not a do or die affair, don't let us go into what PDP says by saying it's an acceptance of defeat. But we are saying that is there no need for us to embrace peace?
I've always told you, that Showore has continuously reiterated a non-violent.
Not Showore, I mean all the political gladiators, which you're one of them now.
Now, our party is open for peace, the AAC. Showore as our candidate is open for peace. Our members are non-violent. The other day, our supporters were pasting our posters along the Third Mainland Bridge here. They were apprehended by the police. That could have triggered violence, but we resorted to peace. Instead, we approached the law court. Showore was sidelined from the debate. Instead of us rampaging all over the whole places, destroying or leading violent protests across the country, we resorted to the legal procedures. On 31st, that was on Monday, our case was open in Court 14 in Abuja Federal High Court, where the judge entertained our position and offered to give our case an accelerated hearing so that it can be able to honor our prayers.
We'll talk some more with you, Lucky. We've been joined by our guest in Abuja, so let's go over to Abuja studio to listen to Victor Giwa. Victor Giwa is a lawyer. Victor, thanks for joining us this morning, and Happy New Year to you. Now, we're looking at the President's New Year message, where he said that it's not a do-or-die affair. Now, there are some perceived harassment of opposing camps and critics of the government. Now, would you say that the President's statement is simply rhetoric?
Well, firstly, I would want to say that whether it is rhetoric or it is a statement of facts or it's a statement that is well intended, is going to be determined by what happened after a statement. Statement alone cannot give you read out and the intention of a person. I first of all appreciate the fact that the president in his new year wishes have said that, look, the election is not a do or die affair. And for me, I think it is well appreciated. I think it's a statement in the right direction, and I think that it's helped in at least bringing down the tension. If you cast your mind back to about 2002, you remember where the then President Olusegun Obasanjo then was saying that the election is going to be a do or die affair. And we knew what happened. We saw, do or die means that it is of desperation, that everything they need to do to win the election, is going to be done. It shows that they are going to bypass protocol. It shows that they are going to, abuse rights. It shows that they are going to undermine the process. It shows that they are going to use institution of the state against, against the will of the people. And of course, we saw what happened in the 2002 and then 2006 election. So the president coming to say that, or stating that this election is not a do or die affair, to me, that is encouraging. It's a statement that I see as bringing down the tension that is in the system. We all know what the election is going to be like. We are seeing these various tension being raised in all quarters. As a civil society organization, we have had a lot of stories of governors saying that they will not allow the opposition candidate to come into their state. I got some calls, and I was meeting one of these chieftain of a political party in one of the states, who told me that a particular governor of his state was telling one of the presidential candidates not to come to his state, that the state is not ready for him. And this is the kind of tension we are having. People are desperate. People want to use everything within their arsenal to ensure that they muzzle out the opposition. People are doing everything. They are compromising. They are preparing to compromise institutions. They are preparing to use cohesive force against the people. And politicians are putting, we are seeing a lot of arms. We are seeing a lot of, we are seeing custom impounding arms. We are seeing a lot of small arms in circulation. We are seeing threats. We are seeing tension. We are seeing hard statements. And I think it was right for the president to, of course, as the #1 citizen, not just the president of the country, but as a candidate who is participating in the election, to say that this election is not a do or die affair. To me, it is good. To me, it is encouraging, and I think it sets the template. But it is not good. It's not just the mere word. It needs to match his words with action, and that we are going to see as the years goes on. We are going to see how the security agency, the police, the Nigerian Army Force. Right now, we are told that the Nigerian Army.
Oh, Victor, if we still connect to you, I was just going to ask you, because according to the opposition, they do not see this coming. And you can also cite some examples. You recall when the president was doing his launch of his policy document, some security chiefs were seen there, and the opposition raised this eyebrow that the security chiefs are not meant to be there. And they are also citing the example of what is happening to Dino Melaye, that these are all moves to muzzle the opposition. So we are asking this question. I'm asking you, and if we can get you back, and also asking Loki, how much can we trust the independence of the security paraphernalia and also the INEC, as it were?
Yes, I think it is a serious case for concern. First of all, I need to restate the fact that what I'm saying is that it is good that the president stated in his opening, in his New Year message, that the election is not good, it's not a do or die affair. To me, that is a pass. To me, it is encouraging. However, I said that it must go beyond just mere words. It must be backed with action. And what are the actions we are looking at? We want to see how the police can deal with every citizen equally. We are talking about justice in the election. We are talking about how I just mentioned that we are hearing right now that the Nigerian Army is carrying out an operation python dance within all the states of the federation. We don't know why it is coming at this state. We don't know why it's coming at this time when we are about 2 months or 3 months to election. It started in December. So those are the issues that we need to look at. We need to be sure that the president or the government in power, they are not going to use the paraphernalia of the state. They are not going to use the cohesive power of the state against the opponent. And that will now establish whether or not the president meant what he said when he said the election is not a do or die affair. And I mean, it is reasonable for anybody, for the opposition party or for Nigerians, not just opposition party, for Nigerians to start interrogating certain issues, to know, is the INEC independent? How independent is INEC? How independent is our security agency? Why, for example, is the tenure of the IG needs to be extended? Is it that we cannot have somebody that can do it better than the current IG? Those are questions we need to ask. We need to ask, what are the military? What is the involvement of the military to the election? We need to ask how independent INEC is, considering the past elections that have been conducted, considering the credibility issues that have been raised by Nigerians. Has INEC been able to show that they are independent? Has INEC been able to show that they can regain the confidence of Nigeria? Has the Nigerian police shown by evidence that they are going to right now to approach this election just as a police to protect all citizens, to make sure that the electoral process takes its natural course, and it is not intercepted by violence, it is not intercepted by taking sides, and that Nigerian army does not take side by ensuring that certain political party has advantage or takes upper hand above others. And so those are the issues, and it is incumbent on the president to ensure that these processes are independent, that he comes and is ready to lose, and if he wins, let him be seen that he wins credibly, and if he's going to lose, let it be seen that he lost credibly. And when that is on ground, I think the confidence of Nigerians will be built up. So it is not just stating that.
All right, Victor, Lucky, we'll come back to you, but let me quickly get Victor's perspective on this one. Now, Victor, for a while now, before this even election process started, we were hearing rhetorics from different quarters, from opposition parties, people accusing people of certain things, good or bad, especially the bad ones. And many have accused the president of not cautioning some of his followers or his aides when they make certain comments. Do you think that the president should do more to dissuade his followers or aides from saying some particular things to the opposition parties?
Well, it is not just for the president. It is for all candidates, all leaders of parties. It's not just the president. We should be careful with the way we should be able to tutor our followers. We should understand that this is an election. There are going to be two divides. There's going to be a winner and there's going to be a loser. And each of the candidates is a potential loser and a potential winner. And so we must approach this election with that mindset that you could either win or you could lose. But people should not put up this toga or this mindset that, look, this election will be won. I have had a lot of persons who are saying that, oh, I've had even politicians, leaders of political party who are saying, oh, a particular candidate is just wasting his money. Oh, a particular candidate is at what chance? Oh, Nigerians are not going to give opportunity to a particular candidate. I mean, that is not for any individual to determine. The process, whether or not a particular candidate will be accepted or not, will be determined at the polling booth. You cannot determine that until the result is out. And I think so the president and all other political leaders should caution their members, their followers, their media aides, that we should talk about politics of content, politics of issues and not of person. We should not attack person. You should talk to people and let people know what you can do, what you cannot do, what you have done and what you will do, and not go and attack personalities, and not go and attack people and say you are trying to make point. People should drive home their point by stating to Nigerians what they want. Nigeria are right now at a crossroad. They want the person that will be sad.
Oh, thank you very much, Victor Giwa, a legal practitioner, for your insight on that topic. We quite appreciate your insight, and we'll expect that from time to time we'll continue this conversation on having a violence-free electoral process. And finally, let me just get your take. Probably you just met Sowore in June. And I will remind you some of these antecedents. You know, this was a man who had been witnessing a kind of violence even right there at the University of Lagos, you know. And people would say that this is not just about the president, this is not just about the politicians. There are some elements there who believe that election is a do or die thing. If you're opposed to my view, I am going to attack you. So how do we have a fluid political environment where we can look at this is a game. If I lose, I accept you and we move on. Or how do we even legislate this? Because some have said that that peace pact is just a mere paper, that there is no punitive measure, there's no legal backing to it. So how do you look at it? You want to talk about your manifesto, there's no time for that. But if you can just entrench it in 1 minute.
Okay, thank you. Now, talking about giving it a legal teaching, whatever we do towards ensuring that our elections are peaceful. In our manifesto, there's an item they will call public sector reforms and restructuring. Not the restructuring for the elites now, the restructuring to reorganize this country. In there, we are even looking at a situation whereby we may have to reorganize our electoral system and also the governance structure of this country, where we're going to harness all of the constitutional conferences that have taken place right from Abacha's time to Obasanjo's own in 2003 and the one Jonathan did in 2014. We're going to sync them and have a compendium that we provide a template to move our country forward. That's for that. Now, talking about Sowore's position on a non-violence thing, like I've told you before, Sowore, as we speak, is the only presidential candidate that is not being guarded by policemen or the military men. We've written to the IG times with that number. They have not given us police coverage. We were in Kano the other day. They moved us from the venue we've paid for because the police were not trying to be friendly, saying the president was coming. You see,
okay, we might have to just end the discussion right now. We apologize for that because the time is far spent and we have another segment right after now. So we want to thank you so much for your time with us.
We appreciate and we do hope you continue to give us more time, because there's a deliberate gang up of the status quo against Sowore's candidacy, because they know how daring he is, how courageous he is.
I hope you're not linking that to this.
No. If you guys are linked, I won't be here. I won't be here.
All right. Thank you so much, Lucky.
We do hope that this will continue as we move on towards the election, so that you give us fresh time and ample time to reel out our manifestos. Because today's zone, you narrow it down to just the president's speech.
All right. Thank you, Lucky Ighoyota, a public relations officer, Take It Back movement. Thank you once again for your time. And also Victor Giwa, thank you so much, our guest in Abuja. Let's take a break at this point, and when we come back, we have more discussions on aviation this time around. Please stay with us.